I found an article online that I'd like to share to see if we're all living the most frugal lifestyle that we can. The article is written by Mikey Rocks and is titled 10 Frugal Tips You Haven't Heard Already. Number 1. Make a 30-day no-buy list. There's a lot of chaos that comes with impulse buys, and having a bunch of websites with random items and carts can get really chaotic, especially if there are items that you actually want to buy. Essentially, when you're browsing online or in person and see an item that you feel you really need, quickly divert your attention by taking a deep breath and writing down the item on your list. Make sure you write the item name and the date so you're certain that you've waited 30 days. This is an awesome way to curb any impulse spending that can sometimes go unnoticed. Number 2, less is more. One of the biggest traps that anyone who practices frugal living can fall into, and oftentimes most people will fall into, is buying things on sale, just because they're on sale. For example, if you see a coupon that shows an item that's super discounted, you buy it just because it's on discount. Unfortunately, the only people these deals really benefit is the company who is giving the coupon. Most people, myself included, suffer from fear of missing out, or FOMO. And when we see a deal that's amazing, we feel inclined to buy it because we don't know when it'll go on sale again. This can cause you to spend on things you don't need. So to avoid this trap, dig into your memory and ask yourself, do I need this item? For groceries, if you haven't used the item in the last 3 months, then it's not an item you need. For clothes, if you already have an item similar to that, then avoid it. Number 3, do a self-audit every 3 months. In other words, evaluate your budget every 3 months. 3 months is a good baseline amount because it's not so short that no changes will be made, but it's not long enough that you may have an obsolete budget due to a lot of changes that may have happened. For example, you may have started with a specific income on your budget, but you recently got a raise. As you approach the 3rd month of your current budget, you go over all your expenses and income and realize you can adjust how you spend and save money because of your raise. And you may also notice that there are some expenses that you can cut out to improve your money management. Bonus tip. It's easier to accomplish short-term goals than longer-term ones, so always set goals in line with your 3-month budget check. Number 4, look at your credit reports yearly. Credit reports are a good signifier of how well you're doing with paying down debt and with your finances in general. Most people only take the time to look at their credit score when they need to, like buying a house, leasing a car, or any other major loan. However, looking at your credit reports every year allows you to avoid having any overly high interest rates in case you want to take a major loan. It allows you to stay on top of your finances and to make sure that you're not a victim of fraud. For instance, let's say you want to buy a new home in the next 5 years, but before you do anything, you take advantage of your yearly free credit check and realize it's not as high as you'd like it to be. So, as you prepare your savings for a down payment, you also crack down and raise your credit score by paying loans on time and paying them in full so that you can get a better interest rate. Number 5, have a frugal buddy. Everything is easier when you have a friend to do it with. Ideally, you want to find someone who wants to practice frugal living and has similar goals to you when it comes to a savings plan. For example, if you want to impulsively buy a new pair of shoes, your friend can help curb that desire to spend by reminding you that it's better to wait before making a purchase. Also, instead of spending the weekend at home alone while all your friends are eating out and spending money, you can have a friend to play board games with or just watch a movie with. Number 6, live an active lifestyle. My partner and I live a very active lifestyle. We often go for hikes with our 2 dogs and always favor doing something that requires movement instead of going out to eat at a restaurant, to a bar, or any other way to spend. It's much easier to avoid spending when you're out on a hike for 2 hours or going for a kayak ride with no stores in sight. In fact, it's allowed us to have a very comfortable lifestyle, even though our salary is below the average of our neighborhood. The truth is that it's really easy to spend when you don't have much to do. It's usually where our minds wander first. So when you distract yourself from eating healthy and living an active lifestyle, your mind focuses on the adventure and the experience without regard to money. Like this video if you think living an active lifestyle has helped you save money. Number 7, get rid of disposable items. Unfortunately, there's a price on convenience. One of the things I used to do was use paper plates for dinners. I'm really not a fan of washing dishes, and after a big Friday or Saturday night meal, we always cooked the food ourselves. Having a bunch of dishes to clean up sucked. So we used paper plates for a long time. But it became such a waste of money to constantly go through paper plates, and it just produces massive waste. We already had plates that were totally washable, and now that we actually use them, we freed up space and saved money. Getting rid of reusable things is not an easy task, but it's certainly worth it. We've made a video showing the best way to declutter your kitchen, making it almost too easy to clean. Click here to watch it. Number 8, put something back every time you shop. Even if you're out shopping with a list, it's normal to stumble upon an item you've forgotten to write down or that you feel you could make use of. While this isn't a bad thing at all, it can get out of hand really fast. So, a great method to always check yourself is to go through whatever you're buying and see if you can put one thing back. For example, if you're out grocery shopping and you decided to pick out a few pasta sauces that were on sale. As you get to the checkout, you go over your cart and you honestly ask yourself if you're going to make use of the pasta sauces. At this point, it wasn't on your list and it's unlikely you will, so you can put them back. A simple choice like this is a great way to engrave frugal living habits into your life and help you make the best choices so that you don't unnecessarily throw away your money. Number 9, calculate the cost per wear before buying new clothing. Cost per wear is a unique and helpful calculation to help gauge how valuable an item of clothing is and if it's worth buying. The way you use this calculation is that you divide the price of the item of clothing by the times you plan to wear the item. For example, let's say you see a cute pair of pants that cost $45. Let's say you plan to wear the pants at least once a week for the next 5 years. There are 52 weeks in a year, so if we multiply 52 times we wear the pair of pants in a year by 5 years, then we get 260 total times of wearing that pair. Now we divide the price of $45 by 260 times wearing the pants, and we get a total of 75 cents. The general consensus is that having a cost per wear of $3 or less is best. With that in mind, this pair of pants easily meets the value. It's important to note that this is just an estimation, but it gives you good insight. Before I share this last tip, let us know if we missed any tips that you haven't heard of anyone doing before in the comments below. Number 10, treat frugal living like staying healthy. Eating healthy is probably one of the most difficult things for most people to do, myself included. However, there's a stark difference between someone who gives up once they fall back to their old eating habits and someone who tries again after they fall. Most of the time, the person who tries again and again will eventually build the habit of eating well and continuously be consistent with it. The same concept applies to frugal living. There are going to be times when you make an impulsive purchase or buy things that you really don't need. In those instances, don't let yourself totally go off the wagon back to extreme spending, but simply pick up where you left off and try again. It hurts to fail, but you've only really failed if you stop trying.